Hey guys, it's Career Ended here. I'm back with some more mixed and mega coverage from OMPL. I'm going to cover the Week 7 games first. This was an interesting week, but I'll also cover the first two games of playoffs in this one video. So you guys will get a couple different games, at least 6 different games here. So hopefully you got something to enjoy. We're going to start off with this Stretch versus Avarice game. This was a little bit of an important game. If Avarice can win for the Gods of Gould, it's a pretty big swing game for them, so they might be able to have a chance, I believe, to tie the week. They might be able to get in at this point. But Stresh, of course, probably one of the better players in the pool, so definitely a scary matchup for Avarice. And just looking at the matchup here, pretty standard balance from Stresh. He's brought a lot of these Pokemon. Over a bit. He's been running some different tread sets with Manectite, and I know he brought a Deansite pre-home, and then it seems as though he hasn't left home without the Ceaseless Edger in a couple of weeks. So, of course, he's got his E-Speed, speed control, and then perhaps a special wall breaker in Magirna, and something to get up the rocks with Garg and the Corviknight. On Avarice's side, we got a Naleki, physical breaker, and Scuda, probably Lopunite. And then maybe the Gaster was Sable Knight, trying to prevent hazards from opposite side, but also able to get up spikes potentially on some Pokemon. Taunt Arceus Fairy, maybe not Taunt, maybe Wisp, maybe coverage move. And then either Pidgeotite, Azelf, or Red Orb we'll see in the game. And then a Pex as an E-Speed check in the back. Really good against stuff like Dragonite and Arcanine, of course. So we're gonna just start the game. We see a Stresh lead with Corv into the Barra, so this is a pretty free U-turn just for Stresh. Gets off the Sable Knight pretty easily there, so it's gonna be hard for this Gaster to get up hazards. Bring in the Samurott, easily getting up the spikes there, and the Chip really big. This makes this is why Samurott's really good in MnM right now, is because it can just get up the spikes while also chipping stuff like both of the slow twins as well as Gastrodon. Sable Knight doesn't stop it, getting up for sure hazards. A lot of the removal is pretty. It's a lot of the spinners don't have any recovery of any sort, so definitely good progress to be making. We see Avarice bringing his Arc Fairy after Stresh gets up 2 layers, and Stresh responds with a switch to his Iron Treads. Only takes 36 from the Judgment, but after the Mega that'll be doing less. So we'll see what Avarice wants to go for here, but Stresh is just going to spin away those hazards. He does get caught by an Earth Power, though, so this Arceus Fairy is definitely going to be CM recover last there, probably. Stresh is going to bring in his Magirna, and a bit of a scary Pokemon. It reveals Pidgeotite. Avarice makes a switch into his Toxapex. Oh, and it gets completely owned by the Zap Cannon, 84%. Absolutely done. Avarice can't believe it. Oh, no. Balanced Stone moment. I agree. Pidgeotite, very balanced Stone. We see the Azelf come out. Red Orb. So it's just going to go for a U-turn. Gets a crit. Very nice chip onto this Hammerot. Brings the Lucky. Pretty free spin. Pretty good opportunity to get rid of your hazards. In comes the Magirna again. Who knows what's going to click? All Avarice can really do is Volt Switch out. Probably can't touch it. Wild Charge isn't killing. Thunderbolt isn't killing. Explosion would be probably a bit preemptive. It'd be really good against Gark. And oh, the Gastro comes in on the grass. Not absolutely donezo. Really good predict from Stresh there, knowing that there wasn't even really a switch in for Grassnot, and for sure the Azelf is not coming in on the Zap Cannon there. So really good play there, getting it on the switch, and tough for Avarice. I guess he didn't know that Grassnot is pretty common on these gear sets, but Stresh gets him there. In comes the Lopunite Barra, cleans up the gear. Doesn't really need it. He's got the E-Speeder in the back, and it's looking like there's not a lot of counterplay to it at this moment. Of course, the Azelf is there, sitting at 100%. So we'll see what has to be done. Unfortunately, the Arceus Fairy is going to have to be sacked, even though it looked like it could have won here late, depending on what the Corviknight could have done. Avarice goes to the Azelf, takes 75 from the Flare Blitz, so it's going to drop to the E-Speed here. Mystical Power only doing 48. Does boost the power, but unfortunately no move to really take on this Arcanine. And yeah, E-Speed, you would have needed an E-Speed or crit from the Aleki to kill the Arcanine from that rage, or maybe just a high roll on no bulk. But I'm almost certain that this Stresh Arcanine has bulk here, and of course it's just going to take down the Barraskewda there. So tough game for the Golds. I think this was one of the games that eliminated them. They needed to tie or win the week to outpace the Wigglies or the doubles to get into playoffs, and that didn't happen. So Stresh is able to clinch the #1 seed here with a win for the Riz, and Avarice, unfortunately, their season's over for the Golds. So we'll move on to the next game pretty quickly here. I want to keep going. This is a game I have a particular affinity for. We got my my teammate Tectonic Destroyer here. He's been a secret weapon on our team all year, helping me with some mix and mega prep. He brought this really cool offense with some E-Killer and Extreme Speed of Arcanine. Zamazenta, very scary Pokemon. We got a Tank and Tunk here too, and the Basque Legion there, and Great Tusk to spin. On Spitfire Arcanine's spot, he's playing for the doubles, of course. He subbed in for Quantum Tesseract here late in the week after QT couldn't make it for some unbeknownst reason. But anyway, Tectonic had asked to play QT, so of course he was going to slot in this spot, and we got this cool team from Spitfire Arcanine with the Hippo, Hoopa, dangerous Pokemon. Of course, probably not really good here against our offense team. We got like 5 Pokemon that outspeed it. Tusk that speeds it after a spin. Probably can take any one hit minus like a Grass Knot. We got a Ceruledge, Arc Fairy, so pretty similar team to what Avarice brought. Not all things considered, with the Slowking and the Gastro, we have a Hippo, or the Slowking and the Pex, we got a Hippo and a Gastro, and Ceruledge instead of for offensive breaker. But anyway, we can hop right into it. Or Ceruledge, different fire type, and then different psychic type breaker. But all things considered, we're just gonna hop right into it. It leads with the Tinkatunk. Of course, this is Moldy Rocks pre-mega, so very very cool. It leads with the Hoopa, but is too scared to click any button. Makes sense. Tinkatunk, one of those mons with a busted typing that actually probably eats anything that Hoopa wants to go for, minus a Fire Punch, which is kind of uncommon. Really bricks into a lot of common stuff like Venucorv and stuff. So we see the switch into the Stable Hippo right away. Tech's just going to go for the SD and reveal Diane's sight. The Gigaton Hammer doing 74 there to the Hippo. Great clean damage. Hippo's just going to kill it right back. But it gives Tech an opportunity to bring in the Lopunite Tusk. Goes for an Ice Spinner there over a Rapid Spin. Fair enough. He doesn't want it to heal, and it would have been able to heal there. And Tech goes for some clean chip on the Arceus Fairy. Almost 2 KOs it, and this Arceus Fairy is really weak now. We're going to be able to force that thing out. We'll see what happens here. It goes to Arcanine. Lets it heal, but does get a Howl off. So if this thing's not Earth Power, it's going to be very dangerous for Spitfire Arcanine to deal with. It is Earth Power, but it will not KO. Tech does allow to sack it there and then not go for an E-Speed. Uses this to bring in his Basque Legion, which is obviously going to go for a last respects here and pick up a KO. On the Ceruledge is the sack of choice. Brings in the Hoopa, which should theoretically have spent with the Diansite boost, but of course it gets taken out by the Hoopa Unbound. Very, very confusing there. Lucario Knight boost is not that big on the 280, and of course Hoopa Unbound even outspeeds that without the boost, but without the Mega Stone, no chance Hoopa is outspeeding. That's very unfortunate for Arcanine to not use his Mega Stone there. Assuming Diansite, of course, but who knows. Has to bring in the Alecki here, and I guess Volt Switch won't even kill. He would have had to go for a Wild Charge or a T-Bolt. So another kill is going to get claimed here with last respects, and with the Arc Fairy going down, Zamazenta Crowned is looking like a big threat at this point. Definitely going to take an E-Speed, and we also have the E-Killer in the back, so that thing will probably just SD up and win this game from that point as well. Tech goes to the Zamazenta here. We see Arcanine, Volt Switch, not much to do. E-Speed might have 2K out there. If it was into a body press, it wouldn't. Oh, and we see a Crunch. Great read from Tech. Really destroying that Slowking. That Slowking's weak as hell now. Oh yeah, and it's looking about over now. Is the Alecki's not even gonna kill. Didn't take the Psychic Fangs for 59%, and Tech is gonna pick up a win here. Very nice win from Tech. This is one of the. I don't think this was the game that ended up eliminating the doubles, but it was the game after this, the 2v2 game that did that. It's a very nice win on Tech's part. His debut of the season, gonna get a 1-0 record, so very nice for Tech. Super proud of him. Nice team too. I really like the offense team. On Spitfire's side, definitely not making the Hoopa Unbound was a little bit of a misplay, but it happens to everyone. So we'll see if he can bounce back next year. And then here we got Z-Astra versus Ice Master. Ice Master, very prolific mix and mega player. Bringing this pretty standard looking mix and mega team. I do believe this is QT's team. I think it was a little bit public before this game went live even. Ziyashtra, on the other hand, brings a pretty cool team with Thunderous Therian for him. Heatran as well. Heatran, pretty good pick. Got some different stones it can use. Pidgeotite. I've seen people use Red Orb, but that's kind of a joke set in my opinion. Ampharos, of course, classic, and Mix and Mega set. Getting up the rocks on things, taunting. Doing crazy stuff. Ice Master side, of course, he's got the hammer. Pretty like we've seen. You know what all these Pokemon do. You know what all these Pokemon do. We've got a Latias side. We got an Arceus ground. We see a switch on turn 1. We're gonna see Ice Master dodge a Wisp from the Arceus ground from Ziyashtra. So very unfortunate for Ice there, but does get up a free spike for it. So we're going to see a switch into the Magearna on the Corviknight. And we're going to assume Ice Master goes for a slow U-turn here. Fortunate that Ziyashtra is not Pidgeotite on his Magearna, or it would have just dropped that Pokemon. Right back into the Hammerot for Ice Master. Elects to go for a liquidation as Ziyashtra just elects to get up his rocks. We're probably going to see a Magma Storm. Oh, but a dodge. So very unfortunate for Ziyashtra here early as Ice Master has a full health Samurai here for the cost of nothing. Absolutely terrible. But anyway, Ziyashtra's going to take this opportunity to get off the spike. Oh, actually, no. He just elects to extreme speed. Damage the Arceus ground. Ice Master probably just going to heal back right up to full. Ziyashtra does get the spin off, so very nice for him. Goes into his own Arceus ground, but with Will-O-Wisp here, does look like this Arceus ground could be a problem. Oh, and it catches the Slowking there, so the Slowking won't be able to take the Ice Beam on the subsequent turn. Does go into Regieleki, very interesting. Takes 85. Oh, and Ice Master will live the explosion and be able to recover back to 54. So looking very dire for Ziyashtra at this point. A full health Samurai here in the back. Full health Great Tusk. Definitely looking pretty dire. Of course, you never know with Thunderous Therian with Pidgeotite, but of course there is a full health Arcanine on this side too. So really looking dire for Ziyashtra at this point. This Body Slam is going to hurt something. Perhaps even a para. Who knows? Nope, no para. But Magearna's in 60%. Reveals the Pinsir on Ice Master Headlong. So that's going to do 34. Confusing not to shift gear up there. You would have gotten a pretty good opportunity to set up there. And Ziyashtra not even going to elect to set up at all, which is going to allow this Arcanine to come in for practically free here and threaten something for sure. Goes for the Flare Blitz. Oh, and that's going to 2KO the Art Ground. Hopefully this Art Ground can have speed. Ice Master electing not to stay in. Just slow into the Corviknight, which can slow you turn to non-burned full HP Samurott. So, or even better, the Latias Sight Slowking Galar, which can just Toxic for free. Or Future Sight. Future Sight works too. Probably chilly reception from Ice Master here as Ziyashtra reveals the sub. So a little bit of an interesting set. We'll see what this can do. But Ice Beam not going to be able to break the sub there. Are we going to see a Pain Split from Magearna at this point, perhaps? Might be able to take down the Arcanine at this point. We do see a Pain Split. Oh, but a crit Ice Beam is gonna set Ziyashtra right back. And it's looking like this gear is not going to be able to do anything here late. And this Arcanine is probably going to end up cleaning up. Hard switch in the Slowking. Will it be able to take the Flare Blitz? It will not. Unfortunate. Turn 28. Slowking goes down. We're back to 4-3. Advantage Ice Master. Brings in the Arceus ground. Heals right back up. Confusing not to see a Wisp there, but we see it on the Magic Bounce Corviknight next turn. So this own Arcanite's going to start getting chipped, and this thing is just Judgment Ice Beam. So a little bit unfortunate that this thing couldn't end up burning this Samurott, as that's basically what its whole job is. It doesn't even Calm Mind up, and if it was Calm Mind, it probably could win here, considering that this Slowking isn't even toxic. But of course, this Hammerot is going to just be able to threaten it with some liquidations. We see Ziyashtra going to Pidgeotite, which of course does outspeed this. Goes for the Thunder, but now it's in range of E-Speed, and it's looking like this game's going to be about Snack Wrapped. Of course, Arceus Ground can come in on this, but there's not a whole lot that it can do, of course, into this Slowking, which is just going to Future Sight, Chilly Reception out into the core, which will be able to Ice Beam forever, or U-turn forever, and this Arceus just won't be able to make progress unless it gets a couple freezes, of course. But that would be a little bit lucky for Ziyashtra, though. To be fair, Ice Master did get a little bit lucky earlier in this game, but I don't see a lot of progress being made. So I like hitting the hyper fast buttons, but does get the Toxic off into the Thunderous, and that's probably going to do it. Is this Thunderous one? Yeah, it's going to drop to the future site. So we're just going to see a GG there from Ziastra. Ice Master getting a dub for the Solgaleos here. Ziastra, the Photon Geyser season is going to be over. Not for the fault of this game, though. They did kind of get beat up this week. I think the final score was 6-2. So a good season for the Photon Geysers and T-Guzzler and Ponchlik's first outing as managers, but ultimately disappointing in the MnM slot at least. But a good game for Ice Master. I think that brings him to 3-3 on the season with a sub, and his only 3 losses coming to myself as well as the other 2 top players in the Mix Mega Pool. So good win for Ice Master there. And the last game from week 7 we have is I almost thought I wasn't going to show this game because it would make some people rage a little bit too hard. But we have T-Tech versus IAPT here. Of course, this is IAPT playing for the Flutters, who were the only team that was absolutely confirmed out before the week started. We had T-Tech subbing in for Clastia, bringing Clastia's standard Rame team that was brought against Damflame a couple weeks ago. IAPT's got a pretty cool team here. Hoopa Unbound, of course, dangerous threat with Dian Sight. Zapdos Galar, really good, a pivoting fighting type, very strong breaker. Arcanine with the speed control. Arceus Ground is glue against broken Pokemon like Sandy Shocks. We got a Toxapex and a Corviknight just rounding out that defensive floor. So definitely a good team from both sides. We're just going to be able to see how it goes. Matchup's pretty even. Toxapex into Rain is pretty good, and we have an Arceus Ground into the Sandy Shock. So we'll see how T-Tech is able to make progress here. T-Tech's living the Grass Knot on turn 1 with his Shock, so that's pretty good for IAP being able to chip that Shocks down pretty quickly. And T-Tech's going to sag the Pelipper turn 2 to the Psychic. I guess he didn't know that Hoopa Unbound is a criminal. Absolutely massacred that thing. 100% of your HP gone. Last Respect's doing a clean 55 to Pexel, only with 1 teammate dead, no less. He's just going to click it a couple times here. Why not? Gets 47% on the Corv, but of course with that Megastone boost, it's going to be able to have a lot more defense there and absolutely cleanly eat that. So T-Tech brings in his Manectite Shocks, but we see an Arc Ground play, so I assume sack for Hazard? Nope. T-Tech's going to keep that sack for later, bring in his Corviknight, and hopefully get a free U-turn into his Water type, which will probably be slower now that the rain is ended, starting on turn 9. So T-Tech takes this opportunity to bring in the Lopunite Great Tusk. Get some good chip, 36% with Ice Spinner, and drops to a Judgment, so that'll happen. Brings in the Corviknight, which really shows that T-Tech doesn't have a lot of options. But we do see a Flamethrower revealed from IAPT, which is kind of good in the fact that it gets a crit here and kills the Corviknight, but it does mean that Dragonite is freely able to just come out and click Dragon Dance here. IAPT pulls a switch into his Arcanine here, trying to get some extreme speed damage off. T-Tech just goes for Earthquake and kills that Pokemon right off with a multi-scale, allowing it to live. I have to bring out the Corviknight here instead of the Toxapex to get some Brave Bird chip, but T-Tech reveals Roost and is totally going to be able to set up on this, so we're going to probably see a U-turn into a Toxapex at some point, but no, just elects to keep Brave Birding. If he is Bulk Up, I wonder if he would go for it here or the next turn perhaps, or just keeps Brave Birding. He's chipping himself down. Also, Dragonite's able to set up a little bit here, but no matter. For sure, the Pex at like 78% can eat whatever this wants to go to, unless it gets to +5 or +6. Unlikely that'll happen, is you can just pretty freely U-turn into the Toxapex at any point and Toxic this or Ice Beam, and the Corv will be able to handle it. But oh my, it's looking pretty dire as this Dragonite is really setting up a lot. Gets that Altaria boost for the added defense, as that Brave Bird goes from doing 40 to doing 32, starting to not hurt. We see a Roost from IAPT not electing to U-turn into the Pex at any point here. Oh, this is looking really dire now. Is the Dragonite's going to reach +6 on this next turn, and this Corviknight hasn't even clicked Bulk Up once, so we're going to see that extreme speed do 58, and now we're going to see if this Toxapex can live from the +5, but it's looking like extreme speed might be able to just clean up the rest of the team, and it even just kills from 78. So we're going to see a Dragonite pick up a bunch of kills here. IAPT drops the Man, but man, I wonder if the Toxapex was non-toxic, non-haze, non-chilling water, non-ice beam. Did I say that? Non-toxic. I don't know. There's a lot of moves Toxapex could use to, or maybe it just wasn't Latias. Oh, it was Latiasite. Very interesting. Very fishy. Of course, this helps with T-Tex win. This absolutely is helping the Wigglies make the playoffs. But very interesting game on this part. Very questionable decision from IAP there. But who knows? Maybe the Basque Legion last could have aqua jetted the Hoopa Unbound and won or something. But at any point, this Dragon Knight did some pretty good clean sweeping at the end there. So that's it for all the Week 7 games. Of course, we got 2 more games. We got our 2 playoff games. We got Class versus Stresh. So a very big battle of 2 broken players here. And then we got a game for myself versus Ice Masters. So I brought this pretty cool team. It's kind of a little bit standardish. I brought the Hammerot. Of course, that Pokemon's been spammed. Sandy Shocks, fucking great Pokemon in this tier. Holy, this thing is scary. Glalie-type, Pidgeotite, it's got some scary Pokemon moves. Landorus Therian is a little bit of a defensive glue. It's a bulky offense team. We got a Pinstripe Magearna, Altairionite, Arcanine, and a pretty cool pick I picked up from Class, but I think other people have been running it too. This is an odd Spectrier, so it gives stab to your Draining Kiss. Also some pretty good defenses, so you can pretty easily clean sweep teams at the end, assuming you can get some Body Slam pairs on stuff, or a Zap Cannon pair on stuff. You can run with that 130 base power Hex. We see Ice Master bring some double slows with the Ceruledge, Arceus Ground, Great Tusk, Dragonite, pretty standardish looking, balanced, bulky offense team. From his point, I feel pretty good at the matchup, because the Spectre is definitely going to be a huge threat. Lives a Shadow Sneak into an extreme speed from this Pokemon. I'm going to be able to get up spikes pretty easily on like half of this guy's team. He does have a Great Tusk, but Great Tusk is really just set up fodder for the Magearna, which really does put a number on Ice Master's team. And of course, the Sandy Shocks is going to be able to get up rocks in the Arceus Ground and hit it pretty cleanly with Earth Power. But of course, there is a Great Tusk, which I was assuming to be Pinsirite, so it can actually touch that. Of course, I have Volt Switch, rocks, Zap Cannon, and Earth Power, so nothing to touch the Pinsirite Great Tusk. A little bit sad there, but what can you do? So I think I lead off with the Hammerot here. We'll do it on normal. He does lead off with the Slowking Galar, and he reveals Toxic Spikes turn 1 as I U-turn out, just trying to get in my Hammerot to get up some spikes. Very unfortunate for me, as I have no removal. Quad grounded Pokemon. So 4 things affected by Toxic Spikes. I definitely was molding going into this game because of the shitty builder I had passed Shiloh, my teammate, for our AAA game just before this. But definitely no excuse there. We'll just Ceaseless Edge, getting up some spikes as we see the what we can assume to be the Altairionite, Dragonite coming out here. He just Earthquakes, trying to catch either Meg or Arc, but definitely going to Lando here was pretty free. I just start fishing for some pairs pretty quickly here. I'd like to get some pairs. Any free turn I can get with any of my breakers is pretty great late game. So I probably should have. I think Body Slamming first here was definitely good, but I probably should have Swords Danced here. But anyway, I just go for a Body Slam. You know, it's all right to fish. Fishing is all right. So I bought a Body Slam there. I bought a Slam here. He goes for his Sable Boost. Pretty respectable there. I'm just going to U-turn out. I'll probably bring in my Hammerot here. Is pretty free, but oh man, I did pull the switch into Sandy Shocks, and it is going to take 94 from his Surf. So super bad play on my part, because I won't be able to get up my rocks now. And absolutely trading the Shocks for getting rocks up would have been great, because it would have been Ceruledge into range from the Magearna Body Slam. But total misplay on my part there. Absolute terrible play there. A little bit nervous in this game, so I would take that play back if I could and just go to the Hammerot. Of course, the Hammerot on a timer already, so not a really big deal if it takes a Surf there, and of course it can get up some more layers. Let's end this Dragonite, but of course I do have the Lando as well as the Gear and the Arc in the back, and he has already revealed EQ, so it is likely this Gear is setting up on this Dragonite. So we'll see what can happen. I just go for the Ceaseless Edge. He's probably going to E-Speed here. Or he can Mega as well and just roost up for free. Ceaseless probably won't hurt. So I'll bring in the Arc here. Just going to E-Speed, get some damage off on something. He's going to sack his Slowbro, which is pretty fine here, I think, for me. Oh, I actually don't even kill the Slowbro. I don't even know if I agree with that. Going back, I would probably have E-Speeded. I just want to get up another layer. Unfortunately, I missed, so I don't even get my 3 layers up to really put Tusk into range of some attacks like the Spectre Draining Kiss after 3 layers. I think is guaranteed, but I'm not sure. We're gonna probably see a not even a U-turn. So I really am playing pretty bad here. Keeping Lando in is pretty bad because it lets him bring Great Tusk for free after a kill. I probably shouldn't even have body slammed here. I probably should have U-turned right back into either Hammerot or Gear, but probably not Gear. Actually, no, Gear's pretty fine actually because it would force him to go Rule Edge. But we see a body slam. Of course, that is a free opportunity for him to bring in his Tusk. I'm gonna go for a body slam again. I just want some paras. I don't know what kind of thought process I was in, but definitely the nerves were getting to me too a little bit here. I think. Ooh, man, looking back at this, I can't really defend a whole lot of these plays. But anyway, I bring in the Gear here, and of course with Rule Edge at full HP, it's going to be able to take whatever I go for, and he's going to Bitter Blade all that back up. So I'm going to die here to a sneak, and there goes my win con, dead on turn 20, looking hella dire here. At this point, I think it's pretty much over, because he does have a T-Spike up, and I don't think Spec can win with a T-Spike up, since it will die to sneak plus extreme speed, unfortunately. But who knows, you know, Draining Kiss can do some funny things. And he pulls a switch into his Slow King. I'm just going to Morning Sun up this Arcanine because I needed it. For some reason, this Samurai probably should have been sacked earlier than this. But anyway, he's just going to go right back to the Dragonite. He can Dragon Dance up. He can Roost pretty freely. This thing beats the whole team. But yeah, T-Spikes were really good here. And I definitely choked on Dix by not getting up the rocks with the shocks, or even doing anything with the shocks, just sacking the shocks. Also, just spamming. Like, I clicked body slam 6 times here with Landorus. Definitely 3 of those should have been other moves clicked. But that'll happen. That'll happen, you know. So, go to the Spec. I can get the Grimnay boost by just killing this with the Hex. But, of course, he's going to have the Shadow Sneaker to just come in and put me into clean E-Speed range. So, of course, this game is going to be over. Yeah, I dropped a D-Spike stuck here, but you played like ass, brother, so it's your fault. Anyway, good game to Ice Master. T-Spikes were a great bring here. FC was clueless, just like this man said, but who knows what's going to happen. We got some tie breaks going on between these two teams, as luckily my teammates Shingle and Fissure are absolutely goated. Lastin as well, able to clutch up some wins, so we're going to go to tie breaks. I won't be playing, of course, because I sucked ass here, but that's happened, you know. Hey, we got one more week, hopefully, so I might have a redemption arc against, no spoilers, but against one of the players here in this game for Mix and Mega. We got Stresh, who, of course, people are hailing as the best player in the Mix and Mega pool all season. He brings a Moltres here, so very odd pick, but definitely not the oddest pick in this game, as we see Claz bring a Dialga. Don't let Claz know, but Dialga is an unranked Pokemon. That Pokemon is no good. Okay, that thing gets up Stealth Rock on no Sable Knight Pokemon, and what, your Draco Meteor eject button. That's your best bet. A little bit goofy. Oh, we do not want this thing on hyper fast. Well, before we see the Dialga, so we see here, let's just talk about the teams really quickly. Actually, we can reset back to preview. We got a little bit of time here. Our recording's not even that long. We're at 28 minutes. We got 1 game left. We can take our sweet time for this one. I actually haven't watched this game. I was a little bit busy during when it was happening live. So this will be my first time going through with it. I do know that this Moltres does get hacked a little bit, but that's a spoiler. So we see Stresh with another bunch of his staples. We see another Gear. Of course, that Pokemon is being suspect tested, so a lot of people think it might be broken. We see another Hammerot, another Treads. Garg is a super great pick right now. Really great defensive option. Regieleki, of course, probably the best Pokemon on the tier. Staple just shuts down half of the Pinsirite Mons. Moltres, funny pick, but definitely cleans this thing up. Gives the team fire resist, pretty good with pretty good bulk with the Sable Knight. Of course, Fire Flying is a great typing because there's not a lot of rock type attacks in general outside of Stealth Rock. If you can keep that up with, which he can with his 2 spinners, pretty cool team comp for sure from Stresh. And on Class's side, we see a bunch of absolute menaces. We got a Pidgeotite Rotom Wash here, and as we've already talked about, Metagrossite, Zapdos, absolute busted fighting type with U-turn. Arceus Ground, you know, some Glue, Slowking, Galar, definitely a good fat Pokemon. Corviknight too, really good defensive slow pivoting core here to bring in your fast pivots. And Arceus ground and Dialga to get up the rocks. Assumedly. Average London day. Some London on London violence. If you guys didn't know, both of these players are British. We see Glass with the World Cup of Pokemon avatar here. We're going to see a Mirgirna lead into the Arceus, but Class has the knowledge. He knows the Grass Knot's coming out. Brings in the Dialga for a solid 12%. I don't know if you guys know that Dialga is fat. That would have done a lot of damage on a regular Pokemon that didn't 4 times resist the worst typing. In this tier, perhaps... But anyway, have you ever seen a grass type in Mix and Mega? I haven't. People don't run Zarude. That Pokemon is fake. Anyway, what am I talking about? We got a Slowking Galar coming in on the Moltres here, going for a U-turn, slow U-turning out, nice pivoting here, able to bring in the Hammer out pretty freely, get up some spikes. Of course, Corviknight's going to come out and just going to be able to slow U-turn back. We do see a crit. Sharpness, Ceaseless Edge doing a fair amount, 40% chip damage, and getting up a spice. Pretty good multitasking there. We see a SD from Stresh, and that Ceaseless Edge is going to do the same amount it did the second turn with the crit versus the defense boost. So we're going to see Zapdos coming out. Go for a Thunderous Kick on this Moltres. A little bit scary now. Wonder how much it's going to take from the Brave Bird. Definitely a lot. We see a Magearna switch on the Manectite, but Class did preserve his Mega, so he would have absolutely Thunderous kicked that thing into oblivion if he had clicked it. Of course, there was just a straight U-turn. Stresh, great play to get that in for free. And the Manectite Magearna being fast and strong. Absolutely crushing that Dialga. 72%. Holy man. It's got to be a fast Magearna. I'm assuming the Dialga has some sort of speed, but who knows at this point. We see the gear just take a Volt Switch and try to Volt Switch out on its own. RC is able to come in pretty freely there, fearing the Judgment. Going to pull a switch into his Moltres. Clash just going for a Combine there. We see Stresh go for a Wisp and burn this Arceus ground, but that's just going to make it a little bit more potent. Of course, 6% chip is noticeable after a couple turns. He's going to bring in the Hammer out here, try to force it out with some liquidations. We're going to see Clash just go for the Judgment. He was attempting to trade for the Hammer out there. Probably just to recover back up to full, as Stresh is going to try to chip this thing down a little bit more with some U-turn. Bringing the Hammer out, he wants to make some progress here, and he's just going to make the same play twice. You know, fair enough. It worked out pretty well here. Not much progress you can make here, but just another U-turn, and this Hammer out might be able to kill with liquidation at 63. Who can say really? And we're going to see the exchange, and both Pokemon are probably going to die. Turn 19, Arceus ground gets traded for Hammer out, so we see a 5-4 Pokemon advantage for Stresh. We're gonna see if Class's double pivoting core of too fast and too slow can take on this Moltres Garganacl bulky offense at this point. So we're gonna see a Volt Switch come out from Class. Doesn't need a Mega yet. He wants to keep that Levitate so he doesn't get chipped down by any spikes. We're going to see a Glowking into the Volt Switch. Of course, Glowking having Regenerator. Doesn't Mega, risking the ground move, of course, to keep Regenerator. Chilly Reception is out, able to heal yourself back up. Brings in the Corviknight, trying to roost off this Volt Switch damage from the Transistor Regieleki. Magearna comes out, gets the Intimidate boost. Probably just going to see some Volt Turn mayhem from Stresh here. He doesn't want to risk anything, and there's not much to risk because this Corviknight's not going to tickle the Regieleki at -1. Sable Knight, of course, only granting plus 20 attack, I believe, or maybe even it might be plus 10, and then special attack is plus 20. I do believe the speed is dropped by 30, so you can tell me if I'm doing that wrong or not, that math. But anyway, we just see a couple of Volt Switches here. Stresh has clicked Volt Switch maybe 6 turns in a row, and he finally gets the defog off, so Slowking's definitely free at this point. Able to get it in, and it does click the Mega here, even though Stresh goes for a Volt Switch again. I think that is 7 consecutive Volt Switches for Stresh. He's going for a world record at this point. Brings in the Regieleki. There is no ground type to stop this Volt Switch either, so we're going to see another one. Rotom coming in, finally Megas gets that little bit of a boost, and the Hydro Pump claims. Wow, Treads goes down to 1. Holy, Stretch the timer running down to 30 seconds. We see the Gearna coming out, 26 from the Volt Switch. You can really see how the Pidgeotite boost from the stone, 60 special attack, really does make the Pokemon a lot stronger. It's very noticeable, as that Volt Switch was doing 20 and now 26 is probably lowest roll, I would say. So that Hydro Pump has got to be hurting at this point. Of course, No Guard 2, really busted ability with a lot of special attacks. And as we can see, Stresh is just maintaining his Volt Switch speed run. We see a critical hit there, and hopefully Class goes for a ruse, but he doesn't pick the wrong turn to go for a U-turn, as that Corv is looking dangerously low at 13%. Slow King's going to be able to heal right back up here, though. Hopefully be able to withstand the bombardment of Stresh's Volt Switches. And he's going to get the Corviknight in on the Pain Split here, so very nice play from Class. Hopefully can dodge the Pain Split in turn 36, and he can. Stresh keeps up with the Volt Switch speedrun. Slow King's going to come right back and just take another slack off, I'm sure. Might be able to damage this Magearna, but no reason to... oh, and you know what? He's catching another 50-50 there. Oh, and an Ice Beam crit on the Alecki, and that thing's going to go down. And Class is hurting on Stresh. And the Body Slam doing 34 to the Slow King, and we're going to be able to bring in the Rotom here, and something is going to die to Hydro Pump. Oh, perhaps the Garg was EV to live it, as, oh, we see an explosion on the Corv sack, so Class is looking like he's at the advantage here. We got a 3-2 advantage. It was 5-3, or 5-4, excuse me. But, oh, man, the Hydro Pump is doing 80 to the Moltres. It looks like the Rotom's just going to be able to clean up here at the end on the Gearna. This thing's never taken a Hydro Pump. Great game from Class. Definitely got a couple 50-50s there at the end, and of course the Ice Beam crit did end this game pretty quickly there, as it totally claimed the Regieleki. But that'll happen. We see a lot of back and forth between our two British friends. You can go back and read that on your own time. I'm sure the replays are available to you. But thank you guys for sticking with me. Going over some of the games. Of course, you probably didn't want to hear me mauled over my own game as long as I did, but I did. So you stayed around, and I'm glad you did. So anyway, thanks for watching. I might do just a personal review of finals if I make it. Otherwise, someone will have to convince me to go over a game between Ice Master and Clastia if the worst case scenario for the terrible Tyrants ends up happening. But otherwise, go Tyrants. Thank you for watching, and have a good rest of your day.